A woman, a well-known woman, chef, is attacked, called the N-word. These things happen on a surveillance video. Put up the picture full mast. So a man is facing hate crime charges after allegedly launching a racially motivated attack in San Francisco against a Black chef who starred in a Netflix limited series. Wendy Drew, a chef who founded and appears in the series You're What You Eat, a twin experiment, recounted to multiple news outlets the moment when she was attacked, and brutally so. Drew said that she was leaving Cafe Terminus on California Street at 9:30 p.m. This was Sunday, September 1st, when a man walking his dog, passing her on the sidewalk, called her a racial slur, taking her by surprise. Quote, "I'm on the phone with my mom, and this regular-looking guy walking his dog walks by and calls me the N-word," Drew told KTVU local news. She said she turned to confront the man, which anybody should do, and likely would do, confront the man when he suddenly decided to strike her on the head. Now, he does this outside, but we have the surveillance video from inside of the store. We have the screenshots of this. You see the altercation taking place right outside of the door, and then it proceeds inside, where he continues to brutalize her. It was relentless, punching her in the face, literally adding injury to insult, she said. Quote, "It was very fast, like 3, 4, 5 punches, and I grabbed him. And I was like, no, you're not getting away with doing this to me," Drew said. Another quote, "And that's when he pushes me to the ground, and I stood up and pushed him into the liquor store." Surveillance footage from inside of that facility captured the attack and showed Drew going to blows with the man. A bystander also joined Drew and pepper sprayed this criminal. At one point, the attacker is seen on the video trying to get away and leave the liquor store, but Drew persistently works to prevent him from fleeing, even going so far as to close and block the entrance. He then shoves her aside and walks outside as the very courageous Drew follows behind him, yelling for help. And you see the dominance right now in that picture of this guy. Now, he caught her off guard, caught her completely off guard. When she got her guard back, she put up a hell of a fight, stopping his ability to simply do this and leave. Okay. Let's put that picture up again. So during this particular moment, she's yelling, "Call 911," screaming it. And then she yelled, "You're not getting away. You're going to jail today," while he's struggling to leave. Drew's boyfriend and a few others rushed out of the cafe because they can hear the screams. And they helped restrain the man after hearing Drew's pleas for help. When police arrived, they took him into custody. Authorities identified the suspect as 31-year-old Irvin Alberto Rivera Lara and charged him with assault likely to cause significant bodily injury, committing a hate crime, and providing false information to an officer. Drew was treated at a local hospital for a concussion and broken nose, as well as a gash near her eye that had to be glued shut. Quote, "I'm really thankful that although I was being beaten, I was thinking, how do I get this person off the streets?" Drew said. After reviewing the case, local prosecutors formally charged Rivera Lara with assault with force likely to cause bodily harm, injury, battery with serious bodily injury. Both charges are prosecuted as a hate crime. So what that means, because the good people of that state allow for hate crimes as an enhancer, it gives a little more leeway to the judge, the prosecutor, can land you in more penalty. Quote, hate crimes have no place in our community and must be addressed swiftly by the criminal justice system. District Attorney Brooke Jenkins said in a statement following the assault on Drew, quote, attacks like this demean and degrade individuals while also shaking whole communities. I will do everything in my power to ensure there is accountability and justice in this case. Rivera was arrested last year after being accused of attacking a sandwich shop owner in San Francisco who caught him urinating on some trash cans near the store. Obviously a very dangerous person here. Okay, so let's look at cause and effect just for a moment. We can celebrate justice while at the same time understanding this never should have happened. But if the right leaders were not in place, if the wrong leaders were in place, you never get a hate crime enhancer passed anyway. You don't have a hate crime dynamic. You may just get a misdemeanor depending on how they want to charge it because he did not come in with a weapon. He provided assault. Okay. So they're not charging him with aggravated assault because he had no predetermined weapon or a post weapon in that combat. But obviously this individual, given his bias and racism, he wants to harm people just because of how they were born. You see, that has to count somewhere in the criminal justice system. But Republicans obviously would tell you that it should not, that a crime should just be a crime. But motive is also part of the determination, and the impact to society is how we determine what type of penalty you will receive. If you break the speeding limit and you simply break the speeding limit, you don't harm anybody. There's not a big penalty to the society. So there's not an issue to the society. So your penalty is low. But if you break the speeding limit and you end up killing somebody, well, the impact to society is great. And so your penalty must be. All right, dear brother, hell of a thing, man. And I got to say, this woman was a thinking, brave, courageous individual the entire time. I mean, she's a real shero.
Absolutely, definitely. She made the right decision all the way through, especially just thinking more about herself and to how dangerous this man could potentially be for other people.
Yep.
And I think you made some good points about how important it is to be able to establish things like this as hate crimes, especially when you do things like throw the N-word out or anything along those lines where it's unquestionable. But hate, crime happens in categories, like unless it's hatred and bigotry, you're probably not going to lash out at somebody like that. People typically do assault charges or something if like maybe you're robbing somebody because you're hungry or you're poor, or maybe you're assaulting somebody because you have more of a personal relationship with them. But just seeing somebody and going after them, that's probably stemming from some type of hatred and bigotry that you have. And more importantly, how encouraged is this in the rhetoric and the narratives that we see in the political zeitgeist and cultural zeitgeist in the country in general? On the right now, especially headed by Donald Trump and how he's completely taken over the Republican Party. Everybody's an enemy. Crime is around every single corner. Everybody's bad. Immigrants are coming. The world is falling down. If you don't elect me, everything's terrible. Only I can handle this for you. So this type of behavior is obviously being encouraged throughout society right now. And so it's important that we have the ability to charge people with hate crimes in the first place.
Brother, I'm so glad you made that point because I promise you, as soon as we put this out on our various platforms, you're going to have people commenting saying, oh, no, Trump has no responsibility for those who follow him, vote for him, and act like him. Okay. But remember, just a few years ago, we were talking about how terrorist organizations would radicalize individuals by what? By rhetoric, what they said on video, what they said on social media. So if they can radicalize people by media, why is it that Trump can't?